Welcome everyone to Dragon Quest FM, where we talk about and obsess over Dragon Quest. I'm Austin,
I'm BJ.
and this week, as promised, we are talking about Dragon Quest One HD 2D remake with spoilers. Um, only DQ1, only the first
Mhm.
game that's on this set. Um, so yeah, it took me about 10 hours. I think I said last time.
Yeah.
It took me about 10 hours to beat it. I don't think I mentioned in the last episode though, I was playing it with text, battle, and completely on ultra fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Always.
and I configured in the settings to where you don't have to hold down circle to run, but like you just press it and it automatically runs
Yeah.
for you.
I always keep that stuff on. Like those are otherwise a lot of RPGs without those, especially 2D RPGs. This is a 2D RPG in my mind. The way I think about it and run
Yeah.
around
HD
is
2D,
it's
it's right there in
HD
the name.
2D. It's I have to keep the run button on, and normal Dragon Quest text scrolling is entirely too slow for me. It drives me batty just waiting on in battles to go at the normal speed.
Yeah, I generally play with everything set to be fast too, especially text because I read fast, and
Yeah.
so I don't want to sit there while it's just slow like beep 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 beep
I
beep
have a
like I
problem
just
with
want a
that with
dog.
voice acting sometimes too, is if I've got it on, I've read the entire thing well before they're done. I just had to skip the voice acting.
Oh, I do too. And even with this game, doing the voice acting portions, like I would skip through it. My kids get really irritated because they
I
watch me
bet.
play games, not just for this game, but any game that has voice acting like that. Because I'll skip through it. And
Uh-huh.
then it really irritates me games that don't have like Star Wars Outlaws when you just have to
Oh
sit there and
yeah.
actually watch a cutscene and everything. I'm like, I've read it already. I don't have time for this.
Yep.
And you have to either skip the whole cutscene or and I also hate when I don't realize that. Like I was playing something recently. I can't remember what game it was, and I was just trying to I thought I was going to be skipping just the dialogue
Just that section of dialogue, yeah.
bit, yeah, like moving forward, and it just like skipped the entire cutscene, and I was like, well, I guess I'll just have to use context clues
Yeah, to figure out
moving
where you're going
forward,
next.
yeah, for what I missed here. But yeah, I had a really good time with Dragon Quest One. Um, I still stand by the fact that it was too hard. It
Yeah.
was really funny, by the way, because after our episode and my review went live,
Uh-huh.
I got messages from several people that were like, "Hey, I found it to be hard," or like some people were like, "Hey, I made it like 4 or 5 hours in, and then like the difficulty curve spiked and it was
Right.
really hard." I got a couple of like, "Nah, get good, bro" comments.
Hmm.
Um,
As
and
expected, it's the internet.
as expected, my favorite person told me that they made it all the way through DQ1 and never died a single time. Um, and
And that's
um,
usually you
may-
just couldn't do it this time.
maybe they're telling the truth. Maybe. Um, I I don't know that that's possible unless you are very lucky or I don't are looking through a guide, maybe like just knowing exactly A to B or something.
Mm,
Like
right.
I don't know how it's possible unless you're playing in Draki Quest with invincibility up. Um, and also had people asking me like, well, why didn't you just play it with like invincibility on the entire time? And it was like, you know what? Yeah, like I don't like there's no shame in that, but personally, like I want some stakes in my
Yeah.
playthrough, but also like when I'm reviewing a game, it's like I want to review it the way like it very clearly
Yeah.
the game tells you like Dragon Quest is the normal mode, this is like the recommended mode. And so it's like from a review perspective, like you want to play the game the way
Yep.
it was intended, I feel like. Even
Yeah, I
though
mean,
if I were not reviewing it, I think I probably would have put it in Draki Quest and even Invincibility on more often.
yeah.
And I would just be like, I'm cool with just seeing content. Um,
But doing it for work, having it a little early to get the review in, it's definitely the kind of game that you want to play as intended, as opposed to being like, this game's too easy in your review because you turned on invincibility.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, it's like I knew what I was getting myself into. Anytime you talk about
Yeah.
difficulty, there's always people that are like, I did it because
Yep.
everybody has to have some opportunity to brag that they're better at video games than you are.
Yep.
Um, and I don't know why. I don't know what it is about like when we were cavemen. Like I
Uh-huh.
guess it goes back then. People are like, I'm better at building a fire. I'm better at hunting this like dinosaur.
Yep. I'm sure it
Um,
is.
yeah, and so some people are better at hunting dinosaurs than I am.
I do believe that almost everyone is better than hunting dinosaurs than I am than
Yeah,
me. I'm not
I,
good at it.
I don't know. I have to get iguanas out of my backyard, and they're basically
That's
dinosaurs.
true. They're tiny dinosaurs. They hiss at you and charge you.
Yeah, I've never had one hiss at me. They do a neck thing. People who aren't watching the video of this can't see it, but they like lizards will do this. Like they go like this when they feel threatened.
Huh.
And I had one like a really big one that was out by our pool like recently, and I stepped outside to run it off, and it was like this at me, and I was like, "No, man, this is my house."
You're about to
And
get attacked by a
I
dinosaur.
like I like went stepping out, chest out,
Yep.
like, "Nah, this is my house." And anyway, he ran away, and I was like, "Yeah, that's right." And Grace was like, "Do you feel better about yourself? Like this is like." I'm like, "It's a big iguana. It's probably like 4 feet long, telling all." And she was
Yeah,
like,
that's a
"Dude,"
big iguana.
she's like, "Man, it's like brain is like the size of a peanut, and it's just like a wild creature." And I'm like, "I don't care. Like that was a win."
Yep,
Um,
you won. You showed that iguana who was
yeah.
boss.
I am. So I may suck at video games, but I showed that iguana who was boss. Um, but yeah, um so with DQ1 and DQ2, I was excited to play these games anyway. So Dragon Quest, these games came out October 30th, right? My birthday is just a couple of days later. And I'd taken off the week after, back before it was 100% done deal. I was reviewing
Mm-hmm.
these because this was going to be the week I did those Lord of the Ring Legos that you and I were talking
Yep.
about. But also, I was going to do Legos and play Dragon Quest the entire week of my birthday week
Sounds
after.
like a great birthday week.
Yeah, and then now I've beat Dragon Quest, but I'm chipping away at the DQ2 post game. But I enjoyed DQ1 even outside of the difficulty setting. Like they added stuff into it, okay?
Okay.
So like there's some characters that get kind of some like unique designs, I guess, that are
Right.
like Gwaelin's bodyguards or whatever, who never really are that important. It's like they show up, they're in like some extra cut scenes to
Mm,
just kind of add a little more depth, but like
right.
you don't really do that much. Um, the Gwaelin stuff I thought was done really well. I actually got bummed out at first because I didn't think you were going to carry her out after rescuing her from the dragon.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh man, you're not going to carry her out anymore. Which I get, damsel in distress. It's
Yep.
a little
Totally understand
overplayed,
why
you
it
know.
wouldn't be.
Yeah, but I was like, man, it's such an iconic part of those games. Like I'm a little sad. But no, you do. You do. It didn't seem like you were gonna, but then you do. And it was kind of fun because as you're doing battles with her when she's in the back,
Yeah.
the voice actor, like when you do stuff, like motivates you. She'll be like, "Good job," or like, "I knew you could do it," and all that. And I was like, "Man,
Oh.
I wish I could tote you around like the whole game."
Yeah.
You know, dudes on the internet might tell me I'm bad at video games, but
But the
Quaylen is like,
princess.
"Good job, you can do it," and like all these things. I'm like, that's some good motivation. And
Yeah.
so, like, I thought that was a nice touch, and it really did kind of put like a big grin on my face just having this like little voice that was like, "Good job," every
Good
so
job.
often. But it was like every fight she gave you some kind of like little
That's
motivation.
nice.
Yeah, and so it was like a cool little short but cool little part of the
Yeah.
game. Um, if if you if you have save a save file from DQ3, you get like a
Right.
bonus. In one, it's the dog suit, and in two, it's the cat suit. You
Right.
get like early on as a bonus. So in DQ1, I got it, and it's like the stats are awesome, right? So I
Oh,
equip
really? Oh,
it.
they're statted. I thought they
Yeah,
were just cosmetic.
no, 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 they're statted. And at the very beginning, it's very good armor. And so I put it on, and of course I look like a dog,
Of
right?
course.
Like I'm just a dog mascot running around. And the first like hour of it, I was like, hey, this is funny. Like 6 hours later, it's still like the best armor. And I was like,
Yep.
I'm so sick of being a dog. And
Yep.
of course, my kids loved it. They were like,
Of course.
when I stopped being a dog, they were like, hey, what happened to the dog? Why aren't you a dog anymore? And I'm like, it's still the same person. I just had to take off like
Yep.
Like especially Rowan, I don't think her brain quite grasps like that's a dog outfit.
Not
Like
that you were
she
playing a dog.
like she just thought I was a dog. Like I'm running around. I guess it makes sense. She plays like Little Kitty, Big City,
Yep.
Stray. You know, she plays like these games where she's like running around as a cat all the time. So why not? Why can't I just be
Yeah,
a dog?
you're just a dog.
And so that was kind of fun because it was one of those things where I was like, all right, cool, you know, like this is like it's cool. It's funny that I'm running around as a dog.
Yeah.
The shine wore off on that extremely fast though. Like really, like hour one, I was like, yay, I'm a dog. Hour two, I was like, all right, I'm still a dog. Hour three, it's kind of like, yep,
Like,
still a dog. Hour four, it's like, I kind of wish I wasn't a dog anymore. Hours like five and six, it's kind of like, okay, I don't even care if I'm gonna have to take a stat hit.
yeah.
Like I need some different armor soon if this doesn't go away.
Yeah. And
And
you're bad enough at DQ1 that you had to have the extra stats. That if you hadn't been wearing the dog suit, we would have had even worse time because you're so terrible at
You say that as a joke, but that's literally what I did. I kept it on because I was like, I don't know, those defense stats are probably pretty good because the resilience of my hero was absurdly low. And I
it.
checked with
Oh,
Platty because Platty reviewed it too for a different site, but I knew he had beaten it, right? And we were
right.
talking about it. And he said that his resilient stats were really low on his hero too. So I don't know if it's just baked into the game
Yeah.
or if it's set to whatever you name your character or
Oh,
whatever, if it's tied to
right.
that. So, but yeah, the resilience stats were really low. So actually, by the time my hero was like level like 40, I want to say,
Yeah.
okay, my resilience stat was the same as Mendenhall's resilience stat when he was like level 17. I checked it. And
Wow.
even Canic's resilient got up there by like level like 23, 24. I want to say.
Yeah.
Like
So
Carrick,
it was like I don't even know, unnaturally low, but definitely that's weird.
it was low, yeah. And I kept thinking to myself, like, oh, I would find like seeds of strength and seeds of magic and all these things. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I just need to find some like seeds of defense that'll get my resilience up. No big deal.
Yep.
In Dragon Quest 2 and Dragon Quest 1, I think I found two seeds of defense the entire time, way fewer than I found of any other seeds in the game.
Wow.
And then like in DQ2, I'm like, I think I found that more seeds of defense before I even got Canic in my party. It was like
Oh man.
way like skewed. And so like you said it as a joke, but yes, I really did keep that dog suit on longer because I was annoyed. And like I even found like some
Right.
armor that was it was like one of those kind of like magic armor or something,
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna like diminish the effectiveness of like breath attacks or magic
Yeah.
or whatever. I can't remember exactly. And it was like just a couple of stats, like the defense was just a little bit lower than the dog suit.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, does that equal out? Like the defense is lower, but it's
Uh-huh.
more protective. And I finally gave in and switched it out for whatever that was. And I still don't know if it what was really better, but I was just like so sick of the dog suit at that point. I was like, it's just a couple of points lower. Like
Yeah.
I'll
So
take it
so
at
it,
this point.
at that point you're not like actually messing with your character and limiting them. You're just kind of trading off like
Yeah.
what will hurt you worse, but holy cow.
So at the end of the day, Dragon Quest One, this version of Dragon Quest One is always going to be. I'm always going to remember it as the Dragon Quest that I was a dog who died a lot. Like that's what Dragon Quest One HD 2D remake
Yeah.
is to me. Is I was a dog and I died a lot. Um, and like it's fine. And I think like you get the extra scrolls and
Mm-hmm.
sigils and things like that. Those are cool. And I
And
did
that does
like.
make a difference. And once you get a few of them, right? Once you build up a repertoire, it makes it a little bit easier.
The scrolls, yes.
Yes.
The sigils, like they tell you what they do, and sometimes it's just like, hey, you know, your magic is 30% stronger now. Or sometimes
Okay.
it's like, hey, if you press square when you're casting, like it'll do 10% more damage now, or whatever.
Okay.
But to me, those were always negligible. Like I didn't notice my care even in DQ2, the same applies with the sigils, but like I didn't notice that really impacting my game in a major way.
Yeah.
As opposed to like the scrolls, like in DQ1, it's like when my hero's learning all these spells and these
Yeah.
abilities, it's like, yeah, I'm like learning like really nice things. Like that was a really nice touch. I like collecting things. It's no, it's no monster recruiting, but it's still fun.
Yeah.
There is one. I said I wouldn't go back, and maybe I will. I don't know because after the trophy list went live, I looked and saw that I'm like one scroll away from having all the spells and abilities from that trophy popping.
Oh, yeah. So with one scroll, it's worth doing.
Yeah, and so but they can be hidden. Like one of the big ones was I think it's more heal. Anyway, there's a really good I think it's more heal. It's like hidden on a bookcase. And it's like, man, I really needed some better heals in this game. But like if I had never gone to that, I think it's in Cantlin. I'm
Okay,
like if
so it's a
I
specific bookcase.
yeah, I'm like if I had never gone up there to that one bookcase and gotten that spell, like, that was a pretty big important spell for me to get.
Yeah.
And it was just like hidden away. And so there are things like that that like you kind of have to, you know, explore a little bit
Yeah.
to find. Um, but then there's other things like the mini medal trophy for getting all the mini medal rewards.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I felt like I found a lot. And then I looked at the full mini medal list. I'm like, I found like a fourth of them.
Ugh.
And I don't even
That's
know
always one of the
how.
worst feelings is when you think you have so many and then you find out there's so exponentially many more. And like I give up on stuff like that. When I
Yeah.
see that I'm not anywhere near the progress I thought I was, when I
Mhm.
actually find out, I'll just be like, well, that was a good run. I certainly got where I did on that.
And like you can use those for treasure, and
Mm-hmm.
I would use that a lot to see like, oh, okay, am I missing, any treasure on this?
Mm-hmm.
And it's nose for treasure, but it doesn't just count for the chest. It counts for like anything hidden in
Yeah.
pots or even on the ground where like you'll have to hover over just a
The
specific part of the ground to
mm-hmm.
interact with. It counts all of that. And so I tried to use that always. Um, and so I felt like I was really doing really well with the mini medals. And then apparently I didn't. I
Apparently
also
not.
realized after the fact that I beat the game without ever. There's a trophy you get for beating like the some armor in Damdara. Okay,
Okay.
I don't have that trophy, and apparently I just skipped that town entirely and beat DQ1 anyway.
Oh,
And I think it's tied down. It's probably tied down to Erdrick's armor because neither game does a very good job of telling you like, hey, Erdrick's armor and sword like are in this game and you can find it. Like it's
oh,
naturally a
okay.
part of DQ2, but then if you don't go to the specific end where the NPC is like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
if you give me some like orichalcum, like I can make this into Erdrick
Right.
sword for you, and like that kind of stuff. And so I don't have the trophy from DQ1 for doing that. And there's also a bard, Zaylan, that you can find that I found randomly in like two towns.
Yeah.
That's another trophy that I don't have that I never did. So there's like some stuff in DQ1 that I realized that I just didn't do. And it was honestly like when I went through the trophy list, I was like, oh yeah, there was that guy Zaylan, Zalin, whatever, however you want to
Yeah.
pronounce it. I'm like, hey, there was that guy. I did meet him in a couple of towns. Like I forgot about that
And you have
dude.
to find him in more than you did.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh, I wonder where he's hiding. And so there's things like that,
Yeah.
that you can do that I'm sure also make the game easier for the final fight. Um, but yeah, it was just I now I'm kind of like, okay, well maybe I'll once I get completely done with DQ2's post game, maybe I'll go
Yeah.
back and just try to do that because
Because those are a few simple things that you can do, finding the bard, going to the town you've never gone to
I'm
before,
fighting
doing
the
the stuff,
yeah,
fighting the armor. That kind
yeah,
of thing is those are fun things that you can go back for as opposed to tedium where you're just tracking down like 300 mini medals
yeah.
that like
Or
Korok seeds.
or beating Shenlong like 13 times.
Yeah.
That's actually
That
I should have platinum Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake. Like I had it in the palm of my hand.
yeah.
And it really was. It came down to I just needed to keep beating Shenlong over and over to like finish unlocking
Yeah.
those things, and I just couldn't do it. It's like I beat him like 3 or 4 times, I think, and it was kind of just
Yeah.
like I think I'm just done.
And is
Like
that the last one that you need for three?
it's stuff all related to that, yeah.
That yeah.
And even like I put it down in Draki Quest, Invincibility on. I was like, I'm just gonna brainlessly,
Hmm.
attack this thing. And I think I said it in that podcast episode, but like the first time I did it, it wasn't even I didn't do it fast enough. I beat him and it was like, sorry, you gotta do this in
Oh, that's
36
right.
turns and you did it in 38 or something like
I
that.
do
Yeah.
remember that now. Yeah.
So you do have to like beat him within reason. So you have to keep your like MP up and stuff. But like the last couple of times, I just kind of basically let the computer do it for me. And still, I was just like, I don't want to just sit here and do this. Like, and and the same thing happens that happens all the time where it's like another game comes out, I go on a trip, I just get out of
Yep.
the habit of doing it, and then I just never log back
Never
in.
go back. Yep. It
And with this one, I kind of feel like I'm just like I don't think I want to go back through all of DQ1 looking for mini medals. Like I
yeah.
am kind of bummed about the scroll because I thought overall I thought I was doing a really good job of like exploring.
Yeah.
And
But I mean, if you're only
so
missing one,
yeah,
then
but I guess it
and they're
depends.
in a specific location, would you not just be able to look up where that one is and go grab it?
Probably RPG site did a really good job with DQ3 when it first came out with having
Yeah.
guides. And I assume they've done the same thing with DQ1 and 2. Um, so
So
So I'm
maybe yes.
so maybe
Yeah.
yeah I could look it up after this, but
You should. You
but
should at least get that one because you're only one down. Because so you won't
yeah
have to go across the entire game like you would with the mini medals. Because that just sounds awful. That sounds
it,
like another Breath of the Wild Korok seed thing to me, where it is just chasing them for the sake of chasing them and collecting way too many things to have you play that game way too long.
yeah. I mean, the thing is you do get really good rewards for it, but at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, it's like all right, beat Dragon Lord. Like I don't
Yeah,
really
what are you
need
gonna use
all.
it for?
And I actually think that the scroll that I'm missing is one of the rewards from the mini medals. Like I'll have to go back and check the list, but I think
Oh
I know I got one or
no!
two. I know I got one or two scrolls as gifts from the mini medal thing. But I don't think and it's not in Dragon Quest 2, there's duplicates of some of them because there's
Oh, so you can
multiple
give
people
multiple
in
characters
your
in your
party.
party.
Yeah, but in one, as far as I know, there's only one of each scroll. Like I never found duplicates. And so which by the way, I will just say up front, pro tip, if you're I know this is the DQ1 episode, but Dragon Quest 2, if you're playing it, pro tip here, if you only have two or even three people in your party, and you find extra scrolls and you're like, maybe I should sell this or, trash it or whatever because no one in my
Hmm.
party can learn it. Keep it because then when the Princess of Canic joins your party, she's the one that's going to learn it if no one else can. And
Got
so
it.
thankfully did not happen to me, but there was a couple of times I was hard up for money in DQ2 and I was like,
Yeah,
I should probably sell those scrolls. But it was not anything smart. It was just me being dumb.
yeah,
I was like, I'll keep them from now, whatever. Like I wasn't thinking, oh, there might be a character that needs them. It was just
yeah.
kind of, it's kind of like saving all your potions for the final boss fight or
And
whatever.
then never using them, and then you just have so many potions, and you're just like, well,
Yeah,
I did that the hard way.
it was a big dumb accident, but I'm glad I had those scrolls at the end.
Yeah,
So don't get rid of your scrolls, people, because there are characters that are going to use them, even if you've already, found duplicates. Um, but I did get annoyed with Dragon Quest One a couple of times, and one I think I can't remember if I talked about it on here with you
I don't know.
with Platy or like just with you down on
Right.
the podcast. But I got really annoyed because I got to the end and I took the Dragon Lord's offer. He's
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah.
do you
You
want to
did.
be
You told
bad?
me about it. That was me.
And I thought it was to be funny. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna say yes. Just watch it and see what happens.
I'll
Maybe
rule
I'll
the
get a
galaxy at
trophy.
your side. Yes.
Yeah, because I wanted to see it for funniness sake. So I did that. I accepted it. And you do get a trophy out of it. But what happens then is then you wake up at an inn and they're like, "Oh, you were, acting crazy in your sleep. You must have had the most bizarre dream." And so, which is funny,
It
fine.
is funny. Yeah,
But
you
I
were
was really
acting like a crazy
annoyed.
evil person, and they're like, "Let's put him to bed."
I was really annoyed because then I had to go back and do that whole dungeon again to get back to Dragon Lord to then fight him.
Yeah.
And it was like one of those things where like I'd sat down and I was like, you know, I do this. I think you probably do. I think probably a lot of people do. But sometimes you're just like you sit down and you've like mentally prepared yourself like I'm gonna fight the final boss today. Like,
Yep.
you make sure your equipment, your
Yep.
items, everything's,
You're gonna.
up to where it should be. And you're like, this is it. I'm gonna go through the
Mm-hmm.
final dungeon. I'm gonna beat the final boss. I'm gonna see the credits. This is it.
Yep.
And I was in like that mentality. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I have to do this
Have
all
to do
over
the
again.
dungeon again.
Yeah.
Great.
So that was a little bit annoying.
And
That
that would put me off for at least that day, where it'd be like, you know what? I'm not going to do that again. Where I get frustrated at having to repeat content very soon after doing it. And so that one would get to me, be like, well, I got my joke, got my trophy. Guess I will go play Yuka Replay or something. It's,
I think I probably would have stopped, but I was like so wanting to get to DQ2 at that
uh-huh.
point, I was reviewing it, so I was like, yeah, I need to beat this,
Mm-hmm.
and so I just went through and did it all again, which was extra annoying whenever you have to do that so early on in Dragon Quest II's
Mm-hmm.
game too,
Yeah.
because I was like, oh man, I just did this twice like yesterday, and now I have to
Yep.
do this in Dragon Quest II, and so if I never see that castle again, like I'm and I know I'm gonna see it again, but it's just like, you do some of those dungeons over and over, and you've seen them in three too,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like I don't know, it got very tiresome after a
Yeah.
while, but overall, like I really like I enjoyed DQ1 fine. I think I said
Right.
last episode, like I think it's probably like a solid like 70, 75. It's like a C
Yeah.
minus kind of game. Like the added like cut scenes and stuff that they did to it were fine. The basic story stays the same. It's like
Mm-hmm.
Gwaylan gets a little bit more to do, and there's kind of these side characters that have a little bit of personality.
Yeah.
And the I would say probably arguably the biggest change, like from a storytelling perspective, is because of three releasing first, where you beat three, and at the end there's like the priest that reveals he's Hargon and
Mm-hmm.
all this stuff. So throughout the course of Dragon Quest One, there's this like evil presence,
Mm-hmm.
Hargon, who is like working behind the scenes with everybody. Where it's kind of like in Dragon Quest One, it almost diminishes Dragon Lord a little bit.
Right,
Where it's
because
like,
there's some other big bad that's even worse that's just waiting in the shadows out here.
yeah, exactly. It basically turns Hargon into like Emperor Palpatine
Uh-huh.
at that point, and which I think is a cool thing. And it definitely I feel like makes Dragon Quest II more impactful,
Mm-hmm.
which I'll talk more on that next week. But like it is one of those things where he shows up multiple times, and it's like this is
Yeah.
cool that they united this a little bit better, but at the same time it almost felt like it diminished certain parts of Dragon Quest 1, because it's like I'm the hero and I'm vanquishing evil, except I'm
Right.
really not, because there's this like secret dude that is just kind of back there, every so often chatting.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, I guess spoiler for DQ2, original DQ2, but it's like, but then also like it's not even Hargon. It's like you defeat Hargon, and then Malroth shows up,
Malroth shows up. Yeah.
And so it's just kind of like it's weird, but at the same time I liked it, but I also don't know like if this is your first time playing DQ1, I
Yeah.
feel like it doesn't feel as victorious. Like if I were
Right.
just playing this, like for the first time, never played any other versions or
Yeah.
anything, it would be like three released first, so it feels like this big impactful game. Two is like the big finale,
Mm-hmm.
and one, because it's so short too, it doesn't feel like the first game in a series. It feels like a little interlude. between two games now.
It's like Dune Messiah, where it had to exist just so that books 1 and 3 could get written. It
but
is
but it originally doesn't. Like that's the thing is that like
yeah
original Dragon Quest One is like this really fun,
yeah it is.
little adventure, but because of the way it's set up with remake, and especially because it's attached with two at this point,
Hmm.
it's kind of like playing a little interlude between the two games, or even like the
Right.
prologue ahead of ahead of DQ2. And so I think that's kind of the, I guess, like quibble that you can
Yeah.
have with it if you've played the others, especially. And I also wonder people playing it for the first time if they're going to be like, "Oh, what's the big deal?" Like this,
Makes sense.
I cannot imagine playing three for the first time, three remake, and that being
Yeah.
my first time playing that game, and then playing through one and being like, man, like what was the big deal with this game? Like what's
Yeah.
going on? Like, and maybe I'm wrong. If this was your first time playing DQ1, like
Yeah, let
let me
us know
know,
about that. I'm
yeah, your
curious
own
about that
experience. Um,
because
but
I've
it,
got really fond memories of DQ1 because of playing it as a child. That no matter what, I'm gonna have those, and then playing through it on mobile and doing everything kind of like
I
you did.
I thought you were gonna
But
say fond memories of watching me speed run it at
now that
Christmas like
that's
four
fun.
years
Like,
ago.
but
Um, but yeah,
but yeah, the it being in the middle of this, I've actually wondered about that too, with them starting the trilogy in chronological order, with DQ3 happening and then 1 and 2 finishing everything up. Like I know that's why they did the release order like that, but because three is the strongest of them, also, but to get people wanting to buy 1 and 2.
yeah. I think it's cool that they released it this way this time.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's like your first time playing through it, it's kind of like with Star Wars. It's like you need to start with the original trilogy. Like
Yeah.
don't watch Phantom Menace first and then like go in that order. Like watch them the way they came out in theaters. And that's kind of the way I feel about these games. It's like you play them in the way they came out, and that's still kind of the preferred order.
Mm-hmm.
It makes three more impactful.
Yeah.
And like I don't know. This may just be like a cranky old man fan rant. I don't know, but it's just it does kind of feel like the Star Wars thing, where it's
All right. I could see that.
like I think really at the end of the day you should play them the way that they originally came out, one,
Yeah.
two, and
It
three.
Same thing with the Chronicles of Narnia. I think the original C.S. Lewis order is much better than doing it with starting with the Magician's Nephew. It's
Well, yeah, because the Magician's
I
Nephew
mean,
kind of sucks,
because
but
hey, that's one of my favorite ones. Like I love the book, but it's way better as book 6, I think, than it is as book 1. Because
I
you,
think it was the last one written, right? Wasn't it written after the last battle?
I don't know actually how it was written.
I think
Either
it came out
way, like
the
I
last
see
year.
the it listed as book 1 now, and I'm like, that's not a good introduction to this world. Like
At
none of this
all,
is
yeah.
gonna like you're not gonna care. And
Yeah.
that's kind of the way it is with Star Wars in this too. You get a lot more context by playing it in the release order.
Yeah, I think so too. I think if you're trying to get new people in, yeah, three's the stronger game,
Yep.
the
And
better
I do
game,
think that's
and
what's
that's
going
why
on.
you do it. Yeah, of course. But at the same time, it does make one just feel so inconsequential.
So if you're
Um,
listening to this and you haven't played the HD 2D remakes, maybe it would be a good idea for you to start with one. And that way you'll have honestly more things to look forward to, as well as not feel like one is diminished after playing through one of the larger, better games.
Honestly, having played through all of them, that's how I would tell people to play one and two remake first and then play three, even though three came out first. And
Yeah.
maybe that's just like me knowing that's the order of them and that's the
Yeah.
way I experienced them originally. It's like the people who like refuse to call Ruff Ruff, like he's Gabo, and they're
He's
never gonna
Gabo.
call him
Yep.
Ruff. It's like maybe this is my Ruff. I'm like, you know
Maybe.
what? You gotta play them one, two, three.
Yep.
Like that's the way you gotta do it. But yeah, I know we're almost out of time for
Yeah,
this one.
so shout out, give us on social media or email or comment on Spotify or YouTube And let us know about the play order for you. Let us know which one, like if you've played these already or have started to or wanting to, which way are you going to approach it, or which way do you think it worked better for you, one way or the other?
Yeah, for sure. Let us know. And then next week we're gonna start with two. I was planning on doing two all of one episode as well, just like killing it in one
Yep.
episode, but going by how today went, like I don't know if I'm gonna be able
You're going
to
to be able to get
talk fast
through too.
enough. Yeah.
So you
I
may
think I
have
might
to
ramble too
split it.
much. Yeah, I may have to. But we'll at least start with two next week, and who knows? The way my brain works, I'm sure we're going to talk about one again at some point because there's
I'm
probably
sure.
something I forgot to mention here.
And
If you,
also, before we go, I do
uh-huh,
want to say we still have
yes,
just a couple of minutes, and
okay.
I wanted to say that I explained to Jennifer DQFM bingo the other day. Something happened, and I just like became a real downer. Like just all of a sudden said something just utterly dark, and I was like, "Well, I hit Dragon Quest bingo on that." She's like, "What?" And so I explained it to her that it's still my favorite thing that's ever happened. Y'all need to go look up our episode on Dragon Quest Bingo where somebody made a bingo card for things that happen on the podcast a lot. And being unexpectedly dark
For
is my
30
favorite
seconds.
one for 30 seconds. And it's what happened in real life. So I had to explain it to my wife. And then I was like, yeah, it happens all the time. Austin, I'll be talking about Dragon Quest, some RPG, be really excited. And then we have to talk about how the sweet release of death can't come quickly enough. And then we go right back into smiling and talking about something else. So I thought you would appreciate that. That it
That's
I
funny.
memed myself and then had to explain it because I just went like super dark, like just immediately for just a second.
That's awesome.
Um, but yeah,
Yeah, cool. Anyway, let us know what y'all think of the game so far. We're at Blue Sky and Twitter at Dragon Quest FM. And you can talk to me at those places at Dragon Quaston.
and I'm on Twitter, BJK Games, Blue Sky, bjkgames.com. And if you'd like to support the podcast and see how many times we go bingo, doesn't make any sense, you can go to patreon.com/Dragon Quest FM and join up on the community and get some mini episodes in.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.